there are still other lawsuits facing Fox News, including ones that are at least at face value pretty similar to the one that they just settled. So you have, let's see, a historically large settlement like this from Fox could lead to shareholder lawsuits. So shareholders, obviously they have a financial interest in the future of the company. They could say that, sure, this is good for your hosts or whatever that you settled, but you just paid $787 million. I think that if you'd taken this to trial, maybe you wouldn't have had to pay anything. You just severely harmed the financial state of the company for no reason, so they could potentially sue. I don't know how likely that is to work. After all, to the extent that I've ever invested, I'm not in the capacity where the company would listen to my concerns, but that is something that is out there. By the way, they're still being sued by Smartmatic. So Dominion and Smartmatic were both attacked in sort of similar ways. They're both companies involved in election software and hardware. They put out a statement, by the way, saying Dominion's litigation exposed some of the misconduct and damage caused by Fox's disinformation campaign. Smartmatic will expose the rest. Smartmatic remains committed to clearing its name, recouping the significant damage done to the company, and holding Fox accountable for undermining democracy. By the way, while the $1.6 billion that Dominion was asking for is a lot of money, Smartmatic is asking for $2.7 billion, and their suit counts Giuliani as a defendant. It has a separate lawsuit against Sidney Powell for jurisdictional reasons. And if I remember correctly, I could be getting this wrong. There's a lot of conspiracy theories, but if I remember correctly, I think Smartmatic was only used in like 2 counties or something, whereas Dominion was a little bit broader in where it was used. So if you are alleging that the election was stolen by one of these companies and you're telling the same sorts of lies about a national company versus one that only had like 2 counties where it was operating, then that's even more deranged and seemingly obviously not true. Also, you have Abby Grossberg. So she has her lawsuit about not just the toxic environment that they have at Fox, but remember, it's also about they're trying to influence her testimony when it comes to the Dominion lawsuit. So there's a lot of lawsuits still out there, JR. I don't know. Do you have any hope? Where are you at right now?
I'm gonna let you guess where I think this is gonna go. I think these other lawsuits will be significant in the grand scheme of significance of lawsuits and what they're gonna be culpable for and all that. But as far as changing some of the thought processes or the loyalty people have for this network, I don't think so. These are gonna be seen as small fragments that come off and yeah, it's Smartmatic, that other company, who knows? It's a little frill lawsuits. Or these other folks that were disgruntled former employees, whatever. Oh, you mean those shareholders? We don't know who those guys are, whatever. It's money, people making money moves. And it's just gonna kind of get forgotten. I'm only going off of that compared to how much people are actually paying attention to this and being serious about it. Yeah, it's all just folks that are against Fox News, but I'm looking for the people who've somehow been fooled into believing that they tell you the truth to see some of this. And that's the problem I don't think we're gonna see much of. But also one last thought, will Smartmatic, if they get Fox News by the in the same way that Dominion had them, will they see the way that the response to Dominion settling was kind of seen as, why didn't you get this further? Maybe they can see it and go, we want to make sure that they actually say this on air. I don't know if they are going to have that kind of leverage on them, but if they do, maybe they should see it.
Look, I think a lot of people want that. I think from a company's point of view, they want to get paid.
Yes.
Dominion got more off of this than they'll make in years and years and years of actual operations. I think Smartmatic is gonna be like, okay, maybe we can get 887 million, or maybe we can get 300 million. But regardless of which it is, it will still be, to take us back to the beginning, cost of doing business. Like I would love to, again, at this point, it's not up to the jury and it's not up to the judge because they settled. They didn't get to actually decide. But if I could have a little heart to heart, I'd be like, so in what way does this lead to them being less likely to lie in the future? They have now been told that even if the impossible happens and everything lines up in the early stages of the trial where this doesn't get dismissed, and Fox is way more obvious about what they're doing than they will ever be in the future again. They're not gonna be sending text messages like that back and forth. They're gonna be meeting in person and making sure that there's no paper trail. Why would they be less likely to lie in the future? Even if all of that went wrong again, they lose 7% of their profits, but they continue to grow and they continue to go. Why wouldn't they? This is going to lead to more lying from them. That's the precedent that's set. And again, the jury and the judge didn't get to weigh in the end, but from the point of view of a person who wants democracy to function and thinks that the media, the true media, has an important part to play in that, then this is not a good day.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.